This is 990WBOB.com, the home of internet entertainment. From Rhode Island to the world, 990WBOB.com. 990WBOB.com is an independent free media outlet.
Good evening, baseball fans. This is Ryan Robles. Joining me tonight, as always, is Tom Harkness, and you are listening to KnuckleBalls on 990 WBOB. Tom, how you doing tonight?
Ryan, it's been a week. I know it's been one for you as well. I'm doing well, though. It's good to see you. It's good to do another episode of the show.
Always great to see you, Tom. It's always great to see you. It's great to be seen. It's good to be seen. I'm really excited here to be talking some ball. We're going to kick it off, Tom, with the return of the 2025 New York Yankees. As many of you may have seen, Cody Bellinger's finally decided to put pen to paper. He's signed a 5-year, $162.5 million with the New York Yankees. And I'm excited. I am. My first thought is Belly's back, and let's go. Let's go. We needed Belly. It was a huge piece. He was a huge piece of the Yankees' success last year. He's an elite outfielder. He can play any of the positions. He's able to slide to first base, and I think that's not talked about enough. He's a really good first baseman when he plays. I've seen him make some really good plays at first last year. So, and then of course the bat speaks for itself. He was a huge part of the outfield being the best offensive outfield in the league last year. And we needed him. We needed a bat like that next to Judge in the lineup to some capacity. But it also just took forever to sign him. It took so long, Tom. And now it makes me worried because all the other pieces I really thought would be really good fits for the Yankees and would help change this team into a World Series caliber team are gone. And I don't know what next steps are now. So, Tom, what are your thoughts?
Well, Ryan, same as you. First off, it is the return of the 2025 Yankees, and I think that you and I, in our discussions both on the air and off the air, have voiced our concerns about what that team was. They were certainly limited. We saw that, especially in the ALDS against Toronto. They were not a World Series contender to the extent that we expected, especially coming off a World Series appearance the year before. I love that Bellinger's back. I love that it's a long-term deal. This is a guy that I think when it's all said and done, we're going to be looking at him as one of the better Yankees to play with Aaron Judge. And that's certainly saying something because we know how good Aaron Judge is, and we know how the past few years guys have kind of been hit or miss when you put them in the order to try and complement Judge. Obviously, Juan Soto is the biggest exception there, and we saw how he was compensated, and rightfully so. And Bellinger gets not as much money as Soto, but a nice sizable chunk of change. And you mentioned the versatility that he offers, Ryan, a guy that can play any position in the outfield, can play first base. The Yankees need a first baseman right now. I know Ben Rice can certainly hold his own there. Maybe they bring back a Paul Goldschmidt or something. And there are some free agents that we'll be getting to mentioning in a little bit. And also just a really good athlete. I think that's the other thing too. He's very fast. A great defender.
Sneaky fast. He's sneaky fast. He's not stealing bases, but he gets around the bases.
The base as well.
He's a smart baseball player.
Yeah, and that's what the Yankees need. They need smart baseball players. So if you are going to run back the 2025 team, it has to start with Cody Bellinger, and that's what the Yankees did. Obviously, Trent Grisham was technically the start.
Respectfully, I'd say I'd have to start with Aaron Judge, but he wasn't on the free agent yet.
True, exactly. If Judge is a free agent, then it starts and ends with Aaron Judge, and then you plug in and play whoever else. But in terms of the free agents, it was Bellinger that was the big one. And you bring back Trent Grisham, and as you mentioned, they had the best offensive outfield in baseball last year. Grisham was a big part of that. True. That's also true.
I love Trent. I love the big sleep. I think that's what they were calling him. I love Trent.
Great mustache, by the way.
Great.
I wish I could have a mustache.
From one great stash to another. It's a great stash. But that's a lot of money for Trent Grisham.
It is.
what I'm
22
hoping
million.
not to be an outlier year. It's tough to call it an outlier year because no other years have happened since, but
Let's
he
be
hasn't
honest.
done that before.
It's probably an outlier year. Let's be
It's probably
honest.
an outlier. I don't know if I'm expecting 30 from Trent, but
Exactly.
let's just hope he stays as consistent as he was in the field and provides that pop when it's needed. Back to Cody for a minute. I do want to say, like, on top of the versatility and all those other things and just baseball IQ, I think as a Yankee, just to bring some bias into it. I know everyone loves bias in their sports radio. As a
Yes, they
Yankees
do.
fan, there's not been a lot of guys as of late, Tom, that I would say exude being a Yankee. Where I watch them in their post game conferences, just the way they play baseball. I'm like, that's a Yankee, and that's the vibe I get from Cody. And I just I love
Let's see
seeing
where
him
you're
in
going.
pinstripes. It's in his blood. His dad was a Yankee, won some World
Right.
Series. I think this is the right place for him to be. I do. And I think he knew that the whole time. Boris knew it the whole time.
Oh yeah,
Boris
definitely.
just has to be Boris, and
right.
I honestly think he just likes messing with Cashman. I think
Probably.
I think he just lives for that.
Scott Boras is Scott Boras. He's gonna go out and he's gonna try to get the biggest and best deal for his clients. That's his persona, and he usually does. Yeah, I was gonna say he does a damn good job of it too. So I mean, you got to give him credit where credit is due.
Yeah, I just wish this one didn't take so long because I would have liked to get some guys that we might be talking about later in the show. I would have liked to pick up some more pitching. And it's tough because it's not that I really think Hal and Cashman were actually going to go spend a bunch of money because that's just not our way anymore, it seems. But I do feel like they had to hold the trigger a little bit, especially on the trades that were out there.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know, like we said, Cody was a must-have piece for the Yankees. Like, if we don't land Cody, we need to scramble and go find a really good bat for the lineup as soon as possible because Trent and Ben Rice can't be your guys protecting Aaron Judge. I know we have Giancarlo back potentially healthy at the beginning of the season. I haven't heard anything, knock on wood, but at the same time, he's going to have that slow Giancarlo start into the season like they do just to make sure that when we get to the postseason that he's healthy, because I'd much rather have him there healthy than in April.
You and I both.
But my point being is if we don't get Cody, I think Dominguez hits the trade block immediately. I think good chance we never get to see Spencer.
Yeah, Spencer Jones, I was going to say.
Spencer Jones, thank you. Couldn't remember his last name. Spencer Jones in pinstripes, like officially. So I think they needed to wait. And I do think there's some trades coming up. I just don't know for what, because there's a lot of pieces I feel like we still need. We talked before the show a little bit. My biggest concern is we're really lefty, like really lefty. Even our platoon things are lefties, just replacing lefties with lefties. And I know that's great for Yankee Stadium. Great. But we play a lot of games away too. It'd be nice.
You play 81 outside of Yankee Stadium.
It'd be nice to have a little bit of a mix. I know Oswaldo's coming back. I'm happy about that. I think he was off to the start of something okay at the beginning of last year. I'm not expecting him to come be like an MVP caliber player, but it'll be nice to have a versatile piece. If he can come back from that injury pretty solid and just make some good contact, having that switch hitting guy who can play literally anywhere in the field outside of pitching and catching is really big, I think, just for the mix of our lineup.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ryan. I'm going to jump in really quick because you said something earlier when we were off the air, and it really made me think. It was right before we got this thing started, and I don't know if you remember it, but you said this isn't 1998 anymore, and Brian Cashman feels like that these free agents are kind of waiting for him to make a call, or that the Yankees are going to be in on them and they're automatically going to go there. And you're absolutely right. It's a very different market. You did say that. I thought it was a really good point.
Stop talking to me before we get on air. I'm wasting all the good stuff, Tom. I'm wasting all the good stuff. But I'm not wrong. I'm not. I do feel that. I don't think we're being as aggressive in the chase for these good players because I think they're stuck in the past. They think we're still this because we are. We're the most winning franchise and all this, and that's great. But like, we haven't won
Since
many
2009.
years.
Yeah.
Too many years. They think we're still like because there's a lot of young talent in the league coming into the league out of the minor league system right now, Tom, that may have been born the last time the Yankees won a World Series, but they don't remember it. They weren't watching it because they were watching Blues Clues or something like that.
They were so
They
young.
weren't. Yeah, like I don't actually. Blues Clues is my age. I might have just aged myself there. I don't know what they were watching, but they weren't. They didn't grow up with the New York Yankees winning all the time and being the New York Yankees. Like that isn't something they've even seen. So like there's a whole generation of like baseball players and fans is what I'm saying that don't even know, that have no
Oh,
idea.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
I think Cashman still thinks that everyone that looks at the Yankees like the place to be, and
Like
it
the
hasn't
evil
been.
empire. You got the
And we're
Star
not
Wars
that.
shirt on. We're not the evil empire.
No, no, we're not. I think I said it last week. We're not even like a rebellion yet.
We
We
might
need
be a
to do a lot
clown
more.
show. I'll be honest,
We
we
could.
might be a clown show. Like, I think that's what it is right now. We're running back to 25 Yankees. Sure, they won 94 games, but again, I mean, they got stomped on in the
Stomped on.
ALDS. You and I saw a couple of those games together, and it was pathetic. I mean, we hated the effort that we were seeing on the screen from
Mm.
our beloved Yankees,
It
and
was.
rightfully so. It was embarrassing.
It was a tough watch. Yeah. So we got Cody back. We're that team again. Minus Luke Weaver and minus Devin Williams and a couple other pieces. And I'm just excited to see the new ads. I know this can't be it. This can't be it.
Not at all.
I know we have a good rotation once healthy. I'm excited about that, but there's a lot of what ifs there. So we need to have some more solid. We know this guy's here. He's healthy. He's gonna be a good asset for the team, and definitely some righties. I need to have some righties in this lineup. Um, I wouldn't hate to have like an everyday righty, like someone like that doesn't need to be just an off the bench guy, but we need to figure out who we're trading because there's a lot of young talent in our prospects, and they really got to figure out who they want to keep and who they're okay with letting go. But we're gonna go dwell while you guys go to commercial break. We're gonna dwell on how sad we are about the 2025 Yankees returning. So you're listening to Knuckleballs on 990 WBOB. We'll be right back.
Thank you for listening to Knuckleballs, which, like all 990 WBOB programming, is powered by Sprout Co-working. For all your business needs, from an office for a day to large-scale meeting and event planning, visit us at sproutcoworking.com.
Play ball!
And welcome back to Knuckleballs on 990 WBOB. I'm Ryan Robles. Joining me is Tom Harkness. And we're going to be talking some free agency, Tom.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of signings. A lot of the big
have.
names have left the board. But there's still a lot out there. I guess it's just like tough fits. We made a little bit of a list to talk through here. Number one on that list was Framber Valdez.
Yeah.
Very interesting piece. I think he is the most talented pitcher left in the free agency. Had a pretty okay season last year, but it was kind of muddied with some weird little drama. But I'm not sure. I don't want to go throw out a bunch of stuff about this guy into the airwaves because I don't know it all. But I do think there's a little bit of bad juju that's kind of muddying up and slowing down. Maybe some of the teams jumping on going and signing this guy because they're not sure how it's going to fit in the clubhouse kind of deal. But I have seen a little bit of noise, Tom, and I'd like to hear if you've heard or seen anything or your thoughts. But a little bit of noise that the Orioles might be pretty interested in this guy. And I will
hope
say,
they're not.
Me too. That was the first. I was just about. That was it. That was what I was gonna say. I read that and I was like, as an AL East rival, I don't like that. I don't like that at all because the Orioles have done a lot of good things in this offseason. And I'd like them to stop, personally. I'd like them to take a break. I think they've worked really hard. Season's coming up in just a couple of months. Like, yeah, it's a long season. Like, why don't you guys take a break? Go golfing or something like that.
Your team's good enough.
Get out of Baltimore for a little bit. It's cold. Come down to Florida. Go on a vacation. Do something. Go to Mexico. You own a baseball team. You guys are wealthy. Go to Mexico.
I have a quick question
fun.
for you. Are you hosting them? If they come down to Florida, are you going to host them?
I'll happily if they'll take their foot off the gas. If they'll take their foot off the gas, I'll take them out, show them a really good time. I know this really great place by the water. There's a little boat with a bar on it that they'll take you out and play music as you drink on the bar.
Oh,
they'll let you drive the boat.
Drove that boat.
Someone drove that boat.
I think someone drove that boat.
A great mustache.
I also think we have a picture of someone driving the boat. I don't think he had a mustache back then, but
in his heart he had a mustache. But yeah, so back to Framber Valdez. Great pitcher. I really, it's hard for me to tell where he's going. I think he fits a lot of pieces. I know we just talked about how I think the Yankees could use some pitching. I don't know if this is the right fit for the Yankees.
Yeah. I don't know either.
I don't know. I don't know if this is. I don't know if this is like because I feel like we already kind of have a guy who pitches a lot like this in Luis Gil. There's a little bit of inconsistency, some good velocity, and correct me if I'm wrong on that. I think that's kind of where Framber's play is, and I don't think we need more of that. I think the rotation needs some more. If anything, we're gonna add it. We need someone who's like a very consistent guy. Doesn't necessarily need to be the most elite guy, but we just need someone we know what we're gonna get. But the Orioles piece scared me though. I didn't like reading that. I've read that a couple times now, from different sources, and I'd like it to stop. I like that narrative to not happen. As an AL East fan, as a baseball fan, I will say like that'd be a really cool. It'd be a really good move for them. But I'm not necessarily a fan of it. Next guy on our list, Tom, Eugenio Suarez.
Interesting one.
I'd love to hear your thoughts here.
I mean, you and I both said that there was a pretty obvious choice, and if you listen to the first episode of KnuckleBalls last Tuesday, you can find it on the 990wbob.com Pastcast page if you missed it. But Ryan, we both said Red Sox, right? They lost Alex Bregman to the Cubs. They need a third baseman.
I think,
especially when you consider the Devers trade too. Like they don't have anyone. Are you going to put Marcelo Meyer at third? You really want him to play short, but you have Trevor Story under contract. I'll let you jump in here. I think Red Sox are the most obvious choice in terms of talent. Yeah, they're ready to compete now, and this is a veteran guy on the latter half of his career. And in terms of need, I think that's a big thing to consider too.
I mean, we've agreed already prior to this, but I still agree with you. Red Sox makes the most sense to me. I think Boston. So I mean, to your point, you could put Marcelo Meyer at third. You could, but I think if that's your plan, I think still going and picking this guy up and being able to platoon that, move him to DH every couple of days.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're signing Suarez, no disrespect, but you're signing his bat. And you hope it's the bat prior to him being traded back to the Mariners last season because it did fall off a bit at the end of the year last year. I mean, with the monster, he could just hit a couple pop-ups and have a pretty nice season, you know. Right. So like, I think it was a good fit. I do. He's not gonna be what the Red Sox just lost in Bregman. He's not at all, but in a lot of ways, and not in the clubhouse leader. Not that he's going to be a negative clubhouse ad or anything like that. He seems like every time I've seen clips of him or anything, he seems like a pretty cool guy. Like I don't think anything's like negative about him, but he's not gonna. I don't think he's going to be the guy texting your young talent while he's hurt and all those days off. Like here's what you could be doing and all that. Like all those great stories you heard about Bregman last year. He's not the same fielder. He can field, but he's not he's not the same guy on defense as Alex Bregman was, or honestly, maybe even Devers. I'm not sure where they rank against each other in that regard, but he does have the potential to be a really good bat there. He's a guy who's been in the league. He's not a young talent who you're too unsure of. I think you have a pretty good idea of what you're signing when you sign Suarez. And again, like I just the monster with him makes a lot of sense. It just does. Yeah, I think it's the obvious choice. I didn't see. I was looking. I actually like went up and looked at some more third basemen that are available free agency wise. I know there's trade options too, especially with their. We've said it a million times. Their plethora of young talent, but I think this is just the most obvious choice. It just makes the most sense. I think he fits the culture. I think he fits the stadium. He fits the need.
Yeah, that's all really good points you make there. He fits the culture, he fits the stadium, and he fits the need. And I want to take you to another guy now. Zach Gallen, you had on this list. Chris Bassett as well. These are veteran pitchers, Ryan. Yeah, I know we're deviating from Eugenio Suarez for a second.
No, that's fine.
I'm just kind of curious about where you think these guys fall into place, because I'm really intrigued, as you mentioned, the Yankees need pitching. I'd like to see either of them. Gallen's a New Jersey kid. Bassett's a guy that kind of terrorized the Yankees with the Jays the past few seasons and has pitched in New York before with the Mets, a veteran arm. We're talking about the Red Sox getting Eugenio Suarez. That's a guy who had 49 home runs last year. Yeah, granted, maybe the batting average wasn't great, hit 228, but he'd be a power bat, especially in AL East stadiums. Yankees would need some pitching. Those are two names that I think would be of interest for us.
I wholeheartedly agree. I do think it's tough for me seeing. I think the Diamondbacks are still going to be chasing Gallen pretty hard. It's with everything they've been doing this offseason, these past couple of years over there. I feel like they're going to be chasing him hard. But I think to your point, either of these guys ending up in New York makes a lot of sense to me, and it also I think it adds a lot of value there. Chris Bassett, I didn't really even think about how he's pitched in New York before. I think that adds a little bit more of like that could work out really, really well, because that is I feel like a huge impact on a lot of pitchers that come to either of the boroughs there. Like if it, Mets or Yankees, I think can you like take the spotlight there, because I think it's amplified even more so on pitching in New York. It really is.
Oh, definitely. And what about again, guys from Verlander and Scherzer who have been around a little bit? Maybe
that's a nice veteran ad. Honestly, like I don't see why. I guess the youngness in there isn't necessarily their rotation or the bullpen. I guess for the Red Sox is pretty young. I could see them picking up a guy like either of them, Verlander or Scherzer, just to kind of give some guidance to those young pitchers this season. That wouldn't be a bad option. Honestly, I could see a lot of teams doing that. I think that would make a lot of sense. Maybe even for like even a smaller market team to come in and hopefully turn him into like a player coach type of deal.
That'd be good.
Tom, there's still a lot more talent than we mentioned here. We do have to cut to a quick commercial break, so we'll be right back. We're going to be switching it up a little bit. We're going to meet the new New York Mets. But you're listening to KnuckleBalls on 990 WBOB, and we'll be right back.
Hey there, KnuckleBalls fans. As the weather becomes more unpredictable, be sure to check out the all-new 990WBOB.com weather page. We've got it jam-packed with all your temperature, storm, and travel information, so you're never left out in the cold. Now, back to the show.
And welcome back. You're listening to KnuckleBalls on 990 WBOB. I'm Ryan Robles. This is Tom Harkness. And Tom, we're going to be moving into a little bit of talk about the Mets. Probably been the most active team this offseason. So they're kind of making us talk about them a lot, which is a little annoying as a Yankees fan. But
it's little brother syndrome, Ryan.
It is. It really is. Tom, I didn't even think of that.
You have a younger brother.
Oh yeah, his face just popped right into my head. That's funny. But so a lot of their moves we've talked about. We've had a lot of questions about. We're not too sure how it's going to pan out. I think there's definitely a possibility a lot of it pans out well. There's a lot of chance it don't. This most recent move of theirs, I think we all agree is a really good one. and that is they traded from the Brewers. They got Freddy Peralta and Tobias Myers for Jet Williams and Brandon Sproat. Not going to talk a lot about Tobias. Probably not going to talk a lot about Jet or Brandon either, because Freddie's the big picture part of this deal for them. And fifth place in Cy Young, led the NL in wins last year, two-time All-Star, great talented ball player. They know what they're going to get from him. He's going to kill it. I think the other upside of this for them is the contract itself. He's going into his last year of his contract. They're only paying him $8 million. Yes, there is potential. It's a 1-year stop. Who knows? I think the Mets could definitely make him a very nice offer at the end of this year. And we could see Freddy Peralta in New York for a long time to come. But I would not doubt that his phone is going to be ringing a lot come the end of this season. So time will tell. Tom, any thoughts you want to add here?
Ryan, I think you covered all the bases. No pun intended. Well, actually, pun was fully intended. I totally meant to do that. But this was an awesome move for the Mets. I think we were talking a little bit ago. Of course, it's off air. We save all our great ideas for off air, and then we come on here, right?
Tom. I'm not going to answer phone calls from you anymore. I'm just not going to do it.
Well, I am going to reference this one now, which is good because we have it, on recording and everything. The Mets brought up some real talented young pitchers at the end of last season, and Jonah Tong and Nolan McLean, two of their top prospects, and both of them were very impressive. And then you look at some of the other guys they have: Sean Manaea, David Peterson, Clay Holmes, who transitioned from reliever with the Yankees to a starter with the Mets last year. If those guys are able to be what they are when they're healthy and when they're on for the Mets, and you look at the young talent and you look at a guy like Freddy Peralta, and then you look upstairs at the GM and Steve Cohen, who, by the way, has a lot of money. I would say that he's going to get a pretty lucrative deal. I agree with you too much as well. I'd say Freddy Peralta is going to get a rather lucrative deal to be the anchor of this rotation for the New York Mets moving forward. And I think that's an awesome, awesome decision by the Mets. This guy is a hell of a pitcher, as you mentioned, over 200 strikeouts last year. You referenced the other accolades, the All-Stars, the Cy Young voting. He is just a total game changer. He's a true ace in the truest form. I think the Mets really hit it out of the park with this. Again, another pun. It's a baseball show. We got to have fun with it, right?
We're gonna have baseball puns and lots of puns. We're punny people.
Yes, we are punny people.
They didn't really lose out on a lot in their trade either. I think there was definitely opportunity for guys like Jet Williams and their organization to be something big, but I think with everything happening in the moment, Freddy Peralta just makes so much sense. I don't think anyone's like too hurt about losing prospects like that. I did want to mention I was playing, if any of our listeners are gamers or anything, I was playing some Arc Raiders, Tom, and I was going after my loot, and I came across a friendly Raider, another player in the game, Big Ben, big Mets fan. We spent a little bit of time talking about this, and he did share he was very sad about Jet Williams. I wanted to share that. So I'm sure there's a couple Mets fans out there that are very sad that they're not going to get to see Jet Williams come into full fruition with the Mets. But you got Freddy Peralta. Like there's like, you can be sad, like you can have attachment to these guys, but it's one of those things where it's not like all those other nice Mets names that they've let go where you're like, how do you let go of that guy? Like, you got Freddy Peralta back for this. Like, what? And Tom, I just want to transition now into the other move that they've recently made, which was a trade with the Chicago White Sox. Mets receive Luis Robert Jr. White Sox receive Luis Angel Acuna and Truman Polly. I think there's a lot of upside to this trade for the Mets. I really do. It is a lot of what if, though. Luis Robert Jr. is a great ball player, all-star back in 2023, but these past 2 seasons since then, he hasn't been the same elite talent that he was. I think he's fallen off a little bit at the plate. And it is kind of just another, they're throwing pasta at the wall, seeing if it's ready with center field here. I think we put a list together. It's just a long list of different guys they've tried over the past few years. So I think they're just kind of hoping this one sticks. While I say it's a what if trade, I think there is a lot of high potential, especially for Luis Robert. I think when you are kind of the star for a team like the Chicago White Sox and that hasn't been winning, hasn't really been putting together a lot of success, and he doesn't have a lot of guys in that lineup there to take any of the spotlight off him. And when things are going wrong, they kind of look at who should be doing the best, and that's him on that team. So I think coming to a team with guys like Juan Soto that take off the spotlight, he can just go back to playing baseball and not worry about a lot of the other side to that. And I think that can help him a lot. I think that might get him back into the right mindset. You could see a really good Luis Robert Jr. But again, it's a what if. It is a what if. Tom, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
No, 100%, Ryan. It is a what if. This is a guy that sat through some historically awful Chicago White Sox teams, right? I think that there's no denying that. But also, Chicago is a very big media market. So even if the White Sox aren't good, you have a lot of eyes on you, which I think may help Luis Robert. Obviously, everything pales in comparison to the media market in New York City. But here you are, you're a guy that's still entering his athletic prime. You're a talented baseball player, and you have Juan Soto in front of you, and Bo Bichette, Francisco Lindor. In addition to those guys being really good baseball players, they're also really good mentors. So they can say, hey, here's how things go in New York. Here's how you deal with these types of things. Here's how you deal with losing if we come across it. Although I don't think they'll lose at the rate that the White Sox did. And you mentioned they've been trying to find a center fielder for years now. Not Brett Beatty. Brandon Nimmo was out there for a little bit. Tyrone Turner has played center field for the Mets in recent years, as has guys like Jose Siri, Harrison Bader, Cedric Mullins was traded over to the Mets last trade deadline, and I know that Mets fans have some words of discouragement for
Mixed
him.
feelings.
Mixed feelings is the nice way to put it for sure. Luis Roberts, a guy who in 2023, 38 homers, 80 RBIs, hit 264. And these past few years, again, the White Sox haven't really been competitive. He's also battled through some injuries and some inconsistency. He's still trying to find himself after a 24 and 25 campaigns in which he had a combined 28 homers and 88 RBIs. His batting average dropped to 223. His OPS around 660 each of those seasons.
That's a stat line I hadn't really seen. I hadn't really put that together. Where combined between the last two seasons, he hasn't hit as many home runs as he did in one season in 2023. That is, yeah. So it's a very big what if. I think there's a lot of factors that go into Luis Roberts' favor in this deal. I think biggest being just not having to be the guy. I think it takes a lot of pressure off of you. But yeah, it is a lot of ground to cover to make it like a real success. Absolutely.
100% there is.
The Brewers just keep shipping people off though, don't they, Tom?
They really do. And they're great every year. So I really don't get it. I mean, I want whatever's in their talent pool.
Yeah, it's something with the coaching too. It's just their pitching's always there, like always on top of it, and then it's a great commodity for them as they move into future seasons. It really is. Like I think we put a little list of like Devin Williams being one. He's also on the Mets now. I guess Brewers are just finding their way over there.
They're finding their way to the Mets. I mean, a couple of years ago, they traded Adrian Hauser and Tyrone Turner over to the Mets. Tyrone Turner, of course, being one of those outfielders that we just mentioned. Corbin Burns in February of 2024 goes over to Baltimore. You just referenced Devin Williams going from Milwaukee to the Yankees last offseason. And then now this offseason signs that 3-year, $51 million deal with the Mets. And Freddy Peralta and Tobias Myers now making their way over to Queens as well.
It is crazy. And I just pulled it up. I wanted to look at what the Mets starting lineup's going to be looking like next year. And I feel like their season goes one of two ways. They are either an absolute menace to the rest of the National League, or their 1, 2, 3 guys are great, and then it's just who knows? Who knows?
What's the projection for 1, 2, 3?
The projection 1, 2, 3. You got Lindor, Juan Soto, and Bo Bichette.
I like that.
really solid 1-2-3 that I think I would say is a safe bet that these guys are all going to have a pretty similar to year to what they just did. They tend to do that. And then it goes into Jorge Polanco, Marcus Simeon, Brett Beatty, Francisco Alvarez, Luis Robert Jr., and Carson Ben? Who?
I'm sorry, that's a name that has completely eluded me.
Carson Benge, Benge. Don't know who that is.
That one eludes me. Yeah. I mean, for as
So
much
I guess
baseballs we watch,
the Mets might need to go find a left fielder because I don't know who that guy is. But or they have a sleeper that we're unaware of, and he's gonna go off.
And we look like the idiots, and that's okay.
That's fine.
We've had egg on our face.
We're
before.
very good on that. Like I'm pretty much a pro at looking like an idiot. I can do that with the best of them.
I'm right there with you.
But speaking of looking like an idiot, Tom, you have a fantasy football punishment you need to get on.
Yeah.
I won't air it all out there for everyone, but
I'll tell you when I do get on it, they will see. Everyone will see.
We'll definitely get it out there.
That I
just wanted to make sure Tom had on record being reminded.
I'm well aware.
Right.
This will serve as a reference as well. So,
but back to the Mets. Yeah, it's that 1-2-3. I'm scared. I won't lie. That 1-2-3 is terrifying. I would not want to necessarily be the starting pitcher coming up in the first inning, be like, who do I got to start the game off? I got Francisco Lindor. Well, okay, Juan Soto and Bo Bichette. Fantastic.
I would not be taking any no-run first innings in Mets games, I think. Ryan,
yeah.
I think
I don't.
One of those three guys is definitely putting runs on the board.
There's a good chance. But then you move to the 4 spot and after, and they're trust me, they're guys that I definitely can see having a lot of success. They've had success. They're talented ball players. I hate knocking the player. You know what I mean? Because it's the flow of the lineup though. It's a lot of inconsistent guys over these past few seasons who haven't been their most elite selves these recent years.
Yeah.
Agreed. I do think Jorge Polanco is going to be a pretty solid guy for them. But Jorge Polanco still isn't like going to be the game changer for the Mets this season.
He's a nice compliment.
He's a nice ad. Right? He's a good complimentary piece. Like I think him slotted 4th right there is nice. I wouldn't mind him coming up to the plate with any of those 3 guys to lead it off on base. But my point being is there's a lot of coaching and things that need to be done for this to be a true success for the Mets. But Tom, I do think we need to go take a quick commercial break, so we'll be right back. You're listening to KnuckleBalls on 990 WBOB.
Right up and greet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really socking the ball, knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the METS Mets of New York
And welcome back to 990 WBOB. You're listening to KnuckleBalls. My name is Ryan Robles. Joining me, as always, is my cousin Tom Harkness. Tom, we're going to be moving off from the off season and talking about these current players and all this nonsense because it's a headache. Honestly, it's truly a headache. We have the Hall of Fame coming up, and we have had a couple people get nominated. We want to just give out some flowers. First on the list, Mr. Jeff Kent. Mr. Kent, congratulations.
Congratulations, Jeff.
You deserve it.
I have a quick question for you. So you went Mr. Ken. I went Jeff. Should I not have done that? Are we not on a first name basis with him?
My name is Jeff.
I mean, Jeff is my father's name, so I feel weird calling anyone Jeff, to be honest with you.
Fair.
It just doesn't feel right. But I think he would respond to either. He seems like a chill guy in this picture of off of Baseball Reference that I'm looking at. Heck of a ball player. I'm looking at his stats right now. 377 home runs. Nice.
290 average.
290
You'll
career
take that.
average. I'd take that any day, especially in today's day.
I was gonna say that's 400 nowadays.
Over 1,500 RBIs. Nice. Let's go. I like Jeff Kent. Congratulations, sir. I wish I knew more about you. I wish I could reference some crazy play I saw you make, but I agree with the voters. You deserve this, sir. And
Absolutely.
we are very happy for you. Tom, little golf clap. I don't know if the mics can hear it, but we're clapping.
We're giving standing ovation pretty much. If this was golf, I mean, that would be some raucous applause.
I also would like to just shout out here 2 more Yankees greats.
Yes.
Going into the Hall of Fame. Well known for their Yankee tenure, Mr. Carlos Beltran and Mr. Andrew Jones. Congratulations, gentlemen. Welcome to the Hall. Tom, I loved watching these guys on the Yankees. I don't know about the rest of their careers, but I think that's really obviously why they're here today. It's because they put on the pinstripes and they did what they did for us.
That's exactly why. Hey, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I remember when Carlos Beltran signed with the Yankees, it was a couple hours after Robinson Cano had left for Seattle, and I was in 8th grade, and I was devastated because Robinson Cano was one of my favorite players ever.
Yeah.
And when Beltran came, he gave us some good years, Ryan, and obviously we had to move off him because the team just really wasn't that good. It was the time when Jeter's retiring, and we were just in that. We don't. It was
a weird Yankee time. It was. I think I think those couple of years, I watched those like Gatorade commercials they did for Derek Jeter more than I watched Yankees games because it just felt weird. But no, it is cool, Tom, to see. Not that it's not cool to see Mr. Kent, you as you know him by Jeffrey, but Mr. Kent go into the Hall of Fame as well. It's growing up watching ball, we love baseball. I hear about people getting nominated to the Hall of Fame, but I didn't even know who they were. I didn't watch them play. Yeah. They weren't in the video games I grew up playing, But now especially these past couple years, it's been really, really cool to see the guys that we grew up playing getting honored in this way and getting their moment. And I just want to say congrats again to both of them. Flowers. Yeah. Flowers all around.
Flowers all over the place. I just want to go back to Carlos Beltran because I think we forgot. Like we're obviously joking about his Yankees tenure.
That didn't come across right on the radio. That was not serious.
Right? Yeah. No. But I mean, like he was a good Yankee. It was obviously just the back half of his career. But we send him over to Houston and he wins a World Series championship there. I don't know. We can certainly question the legitimacy of that one in 2017. But this is the guy who used to be a Rookie of the Year. He won a couple Gold Gloves, Silver Slugger, over 400 home runs, right? I mean, like, it was Carlos Beltran, and especially there was a time during the postseason, I think about his time with the Cardinals right before he came over to New York. He was a real force in the postseason, especially, and it was a guy that you really didn't want to, see it stepping into the batter's box if you were a pitcher. So, yeah, shout out to him and the longevity too, because again, the back half of his career, even coming over to New York, as an older player, he really delivered, and that's why we see him on the X Network from time to time, because he was a guy that certainly left a lasting impression on the Yankees during some rather dark years for the franchise, and we're still going through it now. But I mean, again, the mid 2010s sucked.
It still sucks, but. The mid 2010s, that was a different kind of suck. It was just a different kind of suck. Oh, we're not going to talk a lot about that World Series, though.
No.
We're just going to gloss over that.
I'll reference him as a World Series champion because I like the player, but obviously he had a whole say in that mess, and, it does put a little bit of a damper on his career, the ties to the cheating scandal with the Astros and the trash cans and whatnot, but...
Yes, but there was a lot more to his career than that, just that, and
100%.
He truly deserves this honor. Did want to mention a couple other notable players, Tom. Just get your thoughts on where you think they should be. Chase Utley receiving a 59.1%. Andy Pettitte, this one hurts me the most, 48.5%. Andy Pettitte should be in the Hall.
And I think he will be. I think it's just going to take the voters some time. Obviously, the PEDs and everything.
I feel like it's so different with the pitcher, though.
Yeah,
It's so different.
I agree with you.
It's not like Andy Pettitte was ever out there throwing 200-mile-per-hour fastballs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Imagine
yeah,
if he
I know. Did he? He had to bat when he was on the Astros, right?
Yeah, when you're in the National League, he was.
So yeah, maybe
well.
okay, maybe it did tweak his
a
his
little
stats.
juice,
I've never looked
get
at
the
Andy Pettitte's
OPS up.
I should pull up Andy Pettitte's hitting stats. I wonder what they're like. If Andy Pettitte won a couple Silver Sluggers, then okay, maybe stay out of the Hall. But I don't think he did. I don't think those are the years we're looking at the Astros like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
This might be a year we just mentioned. So I don't. It's different for a pitch, in my thought at least. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know. But
I'm not a scientist either. I'm also not a PED taker, but I do agree with you.
On that note, two other notable guys in that argument: Alex Rodriguez receiving 40%, Manny Ramirez receiving 38.8%. Final year on the ballot for Manny.
Yeah.
Manny being Manny.
Manny will eventually be reinstated to the ballot, and I'm sure he'll be voted in at that point.
I would hope so. Because the way I look at the Hall and stuff, and I understand there's certain things that can keep you out, obviously. But, like, it's not always just a stats and championship thing. It can't be. It's also got to be, like, your impact on baseball. And Manny Ramirez had an impact on baseball. Manny being Manny is...
Oh, yes, he did.
Like, that's...
Well, you grew up in Massachusetts, too, so you know the impact he had.
Like, exactly. Like, I don't think anyone watching baseball in that time period didn't know who Manny Ramirez was. You know, he's... For one reason or another, but, like, so many great moments with him. And then A-Rod, he's got to keep fighting his case.
That's going to be a little more of an uphill battle in my eyes.
It's definitely going to be a little more of an uphill battle. I'd love to see him in there. I think the man has atoned a lot. I don't know if anyone's watched his recent series that came out, Alex versus A-Rod, or Alex versus Alex, was it called?
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard.
I haven't watched all of it, but I've heard great things about it, so I'm definitely going to go check that out. But yeah, a lot of these guys I'd like to see in the Hall, but obviously we're not trusted with those decisions just yet.
Not yet.
We're working on it. That's part of this is one day we'll be able to go get A-Rod and Manny where they belong. That's the plan. And Tom, it does look like we're running out of time, so we're going to have to close out tonight's show. Do just want to thank everyone for tuning in. Don't forget, we're live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on 990 WBOB. I'm Ryan Robles. Joining me was Tom Harkness. You've been listening to KnuckleBalls on 990 WBOB. Have a wonderful night.
So throw all your dishes away. We're gonna cheer and boo and raise a hullabaloo at the ball game today. At the ball game, a wonderful ball game today. Wow!
The preceding program contained views, opinions, and thoughts that do not necessarily represent those of 990 WBOB, its management, or its staff. So now you know.